And sir, before we get into the discussions, if you can tell me, sir, like you have the 3 decades of experience in food and beverage industries, and now into in the life coaching transformation journey you are in. So, if you can tell me, sir, take us back 30 years back. Like, what was the moment you realized that food and beverage industry was your calling or your choice? You made it.
Am I audible now?
Yes, you are audible, clear.
It is a little bit of a, there is no how I got into food and beverage. When I finished my 12th, my typical path to success was to do engineering, just like my dad, and that was what I was getting ready to in the state of Karnataka. And couple of things happened. The papers for the 12th got leaked, and so we had to write the exam twice.
Oh,
Then it leaked again, and so they said that's the first time in Karnataka they said they'll come up with a joint entrance exam for engineering colleges.
uh-huh.
And so this was taking a long time. We've been studying since February, March, April, just getting tired of it. And then we write the IIT JEE exams. So it's just going on. There was no kind of clarity for us. Meanwhile, other colleges and other states had already started. Somewhere there was an ad in all this thing. There was an ad for a hotel management course, 3-year diploma, appeared in newspaper. Actually, I didn't even see it. My dad saw, and just out of the blue, he said, "You know what? Just apply." Apply for it. I applied for it, and they said they will call for an entrance exam.
Okay.
I still had no idea what this is about. Never been to restaurants. He said, no, anyway, this is the year you do a lot of entrance exams, and so let this be an experiment. Go and try it out. So while I was still waiting for my other joint entrance exam, I wrote this exam. Did well. They called for interview. I said, you know what? I'm not going for this interview. I'm not going to do this. He said, no, it's again a practice. Went for it, did well, got selected. And still my engineering results had not come, the joint entrance exam. So this was into, I think, now we're getting into June and July. So he said, just attend this class for 1 week, 2 weeks, let's see.
Yeah.
I joined it, kind of interesting. Then finally my results came, and I got an engineering in Mysore. But by then I'd kind of caught the heck of this, and I said, you know what, this seems like something different, and I stuck to it. Of course, I had no idea what will be the future, how it'll be,
Yeah.
because those were like early days of hotel management in Bangalore, and
Yes.
nobody knew how this was all going to fathom. Yeah, my journey was, I will study well, do pass out, and then I'll be a manager in a hotel. I mean, I had no idea what the thing. So that's how it started, as a very kind of out of the blue reaction to something. And then only I realized I've always had a fascination for food, which at that point didn't remember. But now if I look back, I don't know what else would have been my passionate work, because I like food, trying different things. I'm good at the innovations. That's what all my background in hotels, and now in India in food and beverage. So something that started off as something very different, nothing like that happened, and I was interested. I had no idea about it. Later on, it turned out to be that it was my calling, because something that I really, really loved about. But I realized it much later. So that's how I've been in this industry for so long.
Wow. So your journey was quite deep and intense, and but one thing I sir observed what you mentioned that you are just with that faith, just try and then just move on. But many times I observe in today's scenarios and today's, especially the youth, when it comes, I want to do this, I want to do that, I want to go for these particular streams, and with that, people don't just take actions and just move forward. What do you say to them, say in terms of like what the career will just unfold in future, or how the things will be taking? But of course, what I can just definitely say that it is not the same that when you started and when you comes after the 30 years is like food and beverage industry itself as revolutionized like a lot the way you started and now you see. So what do you say to them, especially those are too much choosy and picky about the careers and things, certainties and uncertainties?
So Manas, I have a different take on this, right?
Mm.
I think I don't want to say what I did was amazing, but something I did was really, I did not think about it at that time. I don't know
Yeah.
what happened. I'm usually not like that. I'm a very analytical, logical person and think
Yeah.
through it. Something in me, and I think this thing comes from my dad, some of the things that I inherited from him. Try to be a little bold, a little push, and he was always different from the family. Of course, I never thought of that at that time.
Mm.
Uh, and nobody had heard of this type of career. I mean, at least for me, I mean, there was a career, yes, there was a big career in hotels, but it was not very mainstream. From those days to now, I think because the information is out there about all different kinds of possibilities and careers, I think there's a lot more choice. It's not about the four or five mainstreams, whether it's engineering or doctorate or law or there are four or five professions. Those are there are so many other careers that has developed over
Yeah.
the course of time.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is there's far too many choices, right?
Hmm.
And so yes, there could be a overload of information, but see where it can nobody will have clarity. I mean,
Hmm.
I did not have clarity right through my college. What am I going to do? I had something and then did something else. I wanted to
Hmm.
be a I literally, if you asked me and I was in school, I wanted to be a professional cricket player because cricket is something I live and die with, right? So
Yes.
uh, you don't have to have clarity. It's okay, enjoy. But at some point, I don't think you get this calling even in college.
Hmm.
That's why today's college is very, very different.
Yeah.
They do a very general, the first year of the, graduation, they do a general level, and then second and third year they start focusing because by then
More
you're
specialized.
trying to align what is your interest with what you want to do. And I
Hmm.
think that's the best way. Whereas in India, much before that, right after, I mean, in 11th and 12th, you'll have to figure out whether it's going to be science, commerce, or arts. That's it. There are
Yeah.
three.
Yeah.
And by sheer bad luck or by a lot of times pressure, people always ended up in the wrong choices.
True.
But now, I mean, at that time, commerce and arts was considered very,
Very good.
not very good. Well, something they said, no, it's not for the smart people. That's how it was looked on upon. There is
Oh.
science, there's science, commerce, and arts.
Oh, okay.
Today, those barriers are completely broken. I mean,
Ah.
anybody's doing arts, anybody's doing commerce because the opportunities there is mind blowing, and everybody has the opportunity to make ton of money.
Yes.
But you have to sharpen the focus as you go in, and it's what you
Hmm.
like and what you do, and everything has hard work. There's nothing like there is no hard work.
Yeah, that is very much true. So thank you so much, sir, actually for sharing this perspective. So it is not that there is a barrier, and today's world, if you are starting with arts, you can go to the commerce eventually. And even I have like few of my friends, I would say in the corporates, those who had engineering in diploma in civil engineering, they did engineering in mechanical, and they are doing phd phd in chemistry. Now it looks like what other things they are doing. So it is
So
not that is a
that is
correlation.
that is still okay, right? That is still in the realm of science. But I know of people who have gone to engineering, who moved to arts, and then go into journalism. I
Yeah.
know, I know my friends' kids who has done that. So look at that confusion there
Yeah.
because to get to engineering to a very good college, that
Yeah.
is a lot of entrance exam, studying,
Yeah.
doing well in that. Then saying, no, you know what, I want to do in Ashoka, I do something, and then after something,
In fact, I
So
am doing the same, sir.
these are it is not out of the ordinary. These are, it takes time for people to figure out what they want to do, and sometimes it takes doing multiple things. Some people are lucky, they find it quickly. Some people, it takes time. So it's all about your what your choices and at which point and what time it hits you.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, I resonate very much what you just said. In fact, I did my electrical engineering after doing corporates and jobs for more than a decade. Even I feel so much interest in human psychology and the psychology of people. And I am planning to do a PhD in psychologies and human behavioral psychology and also Vedic psychology. So it is, looks like completely different. But that's what fascinated me when it is to show the society's more bigger scales. That's what I feel. So thank you so much, sir, actually for sharing. Even, sir, if I ask you another question, as you mentioned, you have worked the decades in food and beverage industry. Now, what we see the food and beverage industry 30 years back, and now we see the food and beverage industry now. This industry transformed drastically. So, if I ask you, now, what are the one changes? I would say the caught you the most attention to you, and how do you adapt over the period of times? Because see, when you started the career, it was a completely different. Now in the high tech area, high tech advantage areas is coming now. So how you have adapted over the period of time, and how you suggest that like those who are youths coming forward, how they should also accept the adaptability of the changes.
See, but by and large, a lot of things, the fundamental core fundamentals have remained the same, right? You have to provide good food and good service, and you have to give the memorable experience. But having said that, one of the things that dramatically changed, which I don't think anybody envisaged, is this concept of delivery. And in India, it was a slow starter. I mean, this has started in other countries much before us. And when I was part of a big coffee company, right, they wanted us to be partners with them. And I said, "What is this delivery? How will this happen? What?" But COVID changed everything. COVID changed the concepts of, where you cannot go out. So
Mm.
if you can't go to the restaurant, the restaurant will come to you.
Mm.
And so that kind of fundamentally changed everything, the concept of uh, you going out. And so by sheer force of nature, it has to come to you.
Yeah,
Uh,
more of a
now,
comfort.
uh, not comfort, it is you're still able to access, because a lot of suddenly you're out of food,
Mm.
or you'll have to cook on your own.
Mm.
There was nobody coming in. You can't
Mm.
go out, so the food will deliver to you.
Mm.
That started off. Then, of course, the more fascinating part of that was uh, there was the theory that after COVID, when restaurants will be back to open, maybe delivery will kind of go out of the way, but it is
Mm.
still continuing. It has created a separate vertical, separate need, a separate set of clientele, a
Yeah.
separate set of day parts. So it is still there, growing and competitively, and that has risen to a lot more, infusion of tech
Mm.
into the thing. There's a lot more data you will get, and
Mm-hmm.
so it had a lot of positive influence.
Mm.
Tech driven. You can
Mm-hmm.
have, if you open a restaurant before it, when
Mm.
you have to open a thing, you will
Mm.
have to physically write down who came in and all that. What is the orders. Now there are these aggregators who have all the data. They can tell you uh, in your area what food sells, what is the price point, who are the
Mm.
people staying there, what is ordered the most.
Mm.
So you can figure out, you know, in which place, what type of restaurant can be opened.
Yeah, a lot of metrics are there to.
That data was simply not there in one central place. You
Mm.
could at the most have it for your own restaurant.
Mm.
So that delivery part kind of has changed a whole lot of the game, and so everything is now very different. That doesn't mean delivery is still highly successful or the only way. It is still living there along with dine-in, and but I never, nobody ever thought that this could happen where you would be happy to sit at home and eat the same food. I mean,
Mm.
but it is happening. It is still there. It has its own. It has created
Mm.
its own niche.
Mm. Makes sense. Yeah, the lot of things have been changes, and it's completely a revolutionized industry by the stakes coming in, and because of the data, it has become much more easier, faster, and makes more ease of doing the business than the earlier. And of course, scalability is making hugely impacted. So
Yeah.
thank you, sir. And if I ask you another question, and regarding this, if we see any successful entrepreneur, you work with them, everyone somewhere or other they face there is some, I would say, a dark night of the soul moment. Uh, it was a difficult phase where people face that it's not working, let's give it up. And but how they come up with this kind of attitude, never die attitude, that they're always the growing and coming out and the bouncing back with the much more stronger. How would say that even in corporates the situation happen, like today job is there, tomorrow job is not there. And tomorrow if you today start a business, tomorrow it may not work well. So how that attitude, so the, I would say, the mindset, how it plays a crucial role. And what are the places you have been certain difficulty situation, how you have applied so that you also came across certain things, if you can share some wisdom, sir.
I mean, in food and beverage, there are multiple examples like that, right? Where even whether it's a corporate driven or in my career as joining a startup, you really don't know what's going to happen tomorrow,
Mm,
even if it's a successful model. But I think one thing of a really very um, a pretty hard, scary moment was again going back to COVID.
mm,
Um, I was in a large cafe chain, and cafes are all about experience. You
mm.
don't go to a cafe for a
Yeah.
product, uh, and so that's how the entire cafe space works on, right? You
Mm,
go there to meet, and
mm,
suddenly, if there is a an amazingly extraordinary event which suddenly says, "Hey, you know what? You can't go out."
mm,
Well, that's the only reason cafes exist. So how do cafes exist anymore?
mm,
Um, so yeah, we also went through the process of, what will happen? Will cafes stop existing?
mm,
Restaurants will stop existing. But restaurant at least, so we also tried delivery. But delivery in cafes doesn't work that well as opposed to restaurants. Restaurants
mm.
means it is a food you want to eat.
Uh,
Uh, Cafes, the food or the products that is there is not very delivery friendly,
uh,
right?
like a coffee, what will they offer?
It turns into, by the time it reaches your place, it turns, you can have, rather have a filter, I mean, you can have a coffee on your own. So that was, where do we pivot? How do we pivot? What do we do? So that was a very, very, you know, uh, how do I say, couldn't see the future.
Mm,
But thankfully, COVID ended. Yes, we also tried delivery and
mm,
collaborations and all that stuff.
mm,
Uh, but we survived that period. And then post COVID, thankfully, people started flocking back in vengeance. It's called the revenge binging, they said.
mm.
And, but one thing to learn was never be happy with one model of success that your place might have. You
Yeah.
always be ready. Of course, nobody can anticipate such a worldwide phenomena. I mean,
Yeah, it was a once in a century
yeah,
event.
if anybody says you had to have a plan B for COVID, I will say, boss, it's not. People are, he probably is joking. So, but the learnings are how to be a very, adopt
Mm,
quickly,
yeah.
adapt, figure it out, try to go out of your comfort zone. Our menus changed, our models changed a little bit during that time. So that's the part of it. Any business will have its ups and downs. How do you constantly evolve?
Mm. So can you share, as you mentioned, is evolve. What are the things any professionals can do to evolve? Like how to evolve from there? Like it is very everyone's. If I ask you, that why you are not growing, what are the things? It will, growing because I'm at my comfort zone. Now, not many people understand, but how to come out from that? If you can share some of your wisdoms, that how really a person's wanted to come out of it, wanted to become. See, everyone wants to be successful in their career, in their field, in their place of work. So, what they should do?
See, there is no magic formula as such, right, for anybody.
Mm,
It all depending on where do you find your groove. And you can be stuck for multiple reasons. One, whether what you're doing you don't like, or you're in the
Mm.
wrong company, or in the wrong boss, or whatever. So you will have to
Yep.
figure out what is the reason why you're stuck. If
Mm.
if if you have the love for that work and what you
Mm.
do, then it's a matter of whether it's this company or another company.
Mm.
If you don't like the work what you do, then it
Mm.
doesn't matter which company you're in or what you do.
Agree.
So I think that's the basics of, you have to go through a self, audit list. Hey, what is it you want to
Mm.
do? I mean, like,
Mm.
we learn about what is your values.
Mm.
Figure out what your values are. Where do you find the that uh, place that you want to be?
Mm.
So again, whether it's the whole career itself, or it's just that company, or it's the similar side of industry, but I don't like this boss. I mean, you have to figure out, you have to really put through a hardcore self audit you have to do to figure out why you're stuck.
Mm.
Then you figure out what you want to do. Then does it match with your values? And then if it's just a company, what you do. Uh, if it is not, then figure out where are you aligned to? What is it aligned? Now, you might not have a necessarily a career in what you like, but that's when you start kind of figuring out by trial and error what you want to do.
Mm.
So, for example, for me, I was in hotels. That was what my clarity was. But after a
Mm.
while, when I was in the US, uh, something about hotels kind of just, because you worked the hardest when everybody else was on leave.
Yes.
Basically, that's what hotels are, right?
Yes.
Weekends you're
Agree.
busy.
Yeah.
Uh, December 25th is a busy day. December 31st is a
All
busy,
the holidays are busiest day.
day. So when you're young and running and all that, after a while, when you start having family, you're like, "Babe, you know what? I've never celebrated a New Year's. I've never celebrated whatever." So then you start questioning. So the fact that you're questioning means then your values are online. See, for some
Mm.
people who have grown up in this, hey, you know what? That's my life. They'll continue to work. When you start questioning, then there's nothing you can change. If you want to be in hotels, this is what it is.
Mm.
So when we moved back to India, I said, you know what? I will still be in the area of food and beverage, but not hotels, not
Mm.
operations.
Mm.
And so that's when I pivoted to joining the Cafe Coffee Day. I worked there, and so that was, luckily it was, not an operational role. We'll have to work weekends because again, F&B
Mm.
business is busy as weekends,
Yeah.
holidays.
Yeah.
So I didn't want to be in an operation role, so I got this great role. It's not operational, and so I was able to move. So you have to figure out what aspect of that you don't want to do, and whether you're able to do that or create that environment within the frame of the industry, or you have to then figure out what else you want to do.
Mm. So finding out the why is very, very important. That why wanted to do the certain work and where is my passion is. And if we can make that passion to a profession, I think that's what the game changers will be there for anyone, right?
Yeah, true.
Okay, great. Yeah. Now, sir, let's talk about it. Like you have decades of experience in corporate now, from the food and beverage industries. Now, you are moving into the live coaching. So how the transition is for you, and how it's looking like a new venture of it.
Um, I wouldn't say it's a completely new venture, because one of the things in working in hotels or food and beverages, it's a very heavy manpower industry.
Mm.
And the success of any of this, whether it's a hotel, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a cafe,
Mm.
you can design some of the best products. Like I have created so many products for those, done the
Please
end-to-end
give some examples, sir,
of what?
of the products you have created, and
Any,
because
I mean, if I don't know if you've ever been to a cafe coffee day,
yeah.
most of the products were designed, when I was there, at the sand. I don't know now. I mean, they've gone through a lot of rehaul,
Mhm.
but some of the sandwiches that was made was all designed way back when I was there. Some of the desserts that has been there. So that has been, part of that thing for a very long time. uh, so having been part of this, so one is the innovation and one is the, the strategy and all that. In the end of the day, the success of your organization is always about the manpower and how they provide the service or
Mm.
deliver the product at the outlet.
Mm.
So so one of the thing has been I've always been uh, involved in training,
Oh, okay.
development,
Mm.
uh, and so that was always something that I like to do because
You love to do that. Yeah, that's what I could
uh,
see in words.
yeah, because it became important. I mean, it
Right?
doesn't matter whether it's from the US, right? As head of my department, I have to be in charge of training myself, and the more I train, the better I get my people to perform.
Right?
Here
Exactly.
also, my SOPs have to be streamlined, easy to understand, very simple to follow, and only then the guy at that level there will be able to perform it, and he has to
Mm.
perform it day in and day out every product. So designing it and giving it, handing it over to somebody is 20 or 30%.
Mm.
Ensuring that they're following is the other 80%. Because if you go to any outlet, if you don't like the food, you're not going to say, oh, you know what, they have great
Mm.
food, but maybe that guy messed it up, so I'll go back another time.
Mm.
Nobody gives you that. You know,
Mm.
food is not good, that's it, whether it's a
Mm.
delivery or anything.
Mm.
So the success of for us or for me was how well they train it, and
Mm.
how do you keep innovating the training also, how do they we have to make sure that they understand it,
Mm.
in a language or
Mm.
in the process.
Mm. Mm.
So having done a lot of different levels of training, somewhere I always found a high in that.
Mm.
uh, and it's not just about training them in the hardcore skill set, it's
Mm.
also about the soft skills.
Yeah.
How do you talk, how do you behave, how do you speak, how do you do it, and then going a little more backwards, how do you feel about it,
Mm.
why, every day when somebody comes to work, are they in the best mood, because they come from such, tough backgrounds. A lot of times they have so many problems in their lives,
Mm.
but so we are not aware of it. We just
Mm.
ask them why they didn't come and open the restaurant or the outlet, and why something didn't happen. We are always asking, but it's always good to go back to what is their background. I mean, you might not be able to get everybody's, but that's where, I always thought at that time I didn't have the idea about a life coaching, but somewhere to get to know a little bit about their
Yeah.
background.
Yeah.
Are
Mm.
they even tuned to this? And you will see a lot of people, if you see about 20, 30 people, there are some people who are really good at it, and some people are just,
Yes.
and
Exactly.
it's the some of the challenges that they're facing,
Mm.
right? Uh, so that kind of little bit of thing. Then I said, hey, this life coaching is something maybe I want to now start working on, uh, to see how to one want to myself,
Mm.
uh, and then how do I as a career move on to, because that becomes very important. How do you get yourself balanced out so that
Yes.
you're ready to go into the world to to completely succeed in something that you want to do.
Mm.
And so life coaching becomes that much more important, uh,
Mm.
whether it's part of your,
Mm.
wellness, whether it's health, whether it's a mental health, wellness, coaching yourself. How are your emotions? And if somebody can crack all that, right, suddenly
Yes.
productivity goes far, through the roof.
Yes. It goes very, 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 very true. I can totally resonates at each and every words what you are just saying, because and that has been a true testimony of a person, successful person who's undergoes that is living a balanced and holistic life. Not that only one thing. Okay, if someone wants the money, of everyone needs the money, but money is not that everything, and at the end of we need health, wealth, relationships, and everything is important. But if we go into more deeper of that, sir, like when person is working in corporate, let's say 9 to 5, so 9 to 6 people are working, sometimes it's 10, 12 hours a day, people are working into it, and then they're trying to transition, or even they're trying to do either a side hustle, or even they wanted to do like wanted to make their passion to a profession. Like when they're doing, what would be the like ideal time situation, or when they should understand that I should be switching, or I can make it as a another profession? Because you have been there, you have seen many people, you have trained many people, and you have already walked the talk in your life. So if you can share how they should look, especially the corporates, those who are already there.
See, uh, very complex question, right? There is again,
Yeah.
what is that? So when I was, in my midway through my career, at that point it was all about corporate career. Nobody ever thought of having a side gig, right?
Yes.
Because that itself takes time, and that
Mm.
itself, you have enough complaints that you're spending way too much time with the family and all that. These days, with a lot of things changing the way people see work, as this side gig and all that has come true, right?
Mm.
But I don't know if there is a formula for everybody. Again,
Mm.
it's up to you. Again, I go back to values. If
Mm.
you're in a work and if that's not giving you um, the satisfaction, then
Satisfaction. Yeah.
are you there in it? Or if you're just working for a job for it to give you income, and then you want to subscribe to something that is more passionate to you, you
Yeah.
can do it. But the number of hours is again how much you're capable of,
Mm.
or much your values gives you.
Mm.
So there's this part about how much hours you have to work and can you do a side gig.
Mm.
In food and beverage, I can say it's very difficult because it's a very hands-on.
Dynamics are quite difficult in that.
But I'm not saying other industries are easier, but at least there are a lot of controllables you can control from home. There are a lot of tech driven. So if it's an IT, or say even if you have, like, if you're a CA and you have a main business, if you get to a hustle, again, those are all related fields, right? So you can
Mm.
manage that. So again, it's automatically your own self figures out a way. Hey, you know what is that I can do? So there's no magic like, hey, you have to work 10 hours there, you have to develop 4 hours there. No, you made something you can pull off in 2 hours. It's all about how effortlessly you can do that stuff also.
Yes,
Um,
agreed.
Sometimes it will just work out easy. Sometimes you say, oh my God, I want to do it. Once you put the pressure that I have to put some time, that's when that calling comes, and maybe that is not what it is.
Mm.
That's why there's no formula. It has to come, and one day you'll also figure out, oh my God, I'm working 16 hours, but it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like.
Yeah, that is totally, I can resonate what you are saying, each and every words, because if why is so clear, what is the profound, and what we want to do it, and if that's really resonating with that, no matter how hard we work, we'll never feel that I'm working 16 hours a day. So
It should not. The
yeah,
minute it feels, that means fundamentally something is wrong.
wrong. Yeah, exactly. So many times people comes and sir, how many hours I need to put in the effort? So it looks sometimes very strange, the question itself, but it depends on what the purpose is. So so rightly mentioned, sir. Thank you so much, sir. And one of the very, I would say, very much fundamental questions. I would say this is a more of a mindset than the challenge. Like, that is a different mindset altogether when you start a journey of your own, or I'd say from corporate to, even if you're doing starting your own journey, either it is a life coaching or any programs you do, or even if you're doing side hustle. So I feel there is a different mindset is required, is about the entrepreneurship mindset, rather than, because when you are working in a corporate, it's more of an employee mindset, right? So how do you see that plays a very crucial role in terms of mindset, the corporate mindset or and entrepreneurial mindset, and how it's actually develops over the period of time, and how who actually crosses the line? I mean to say, because you have been there in both the sides of it, so you have seen how it takes in different phases of life.
So this is again a nuanced question. There is again no definitive answer. I would say if you want to when you start a corporate career, right? I mean, of course, you're driven to reach to the next level, and
Mm,
hence you will start performing things that you want to
mm,
excel.
mm.
Uh, the beauty of that is being a large organization, you get to work with a lot of members, and
Yeah.
hence your learning process is different,
Mm,
information is different. Entrepreneurship is a little bit of your, it's a smaller area and you're becoming a king of that, right?
mm.
So that's the kind of the little bit of shift, but ultimately you have to think like an entrepreneur or owner in a corporate company, and in an entrepreneurship, you have to think like a corporate,
Yes.
because uh, and why I tell you is, a lot of times we feel like we are in a corporate. You know what? I'll get a paycheck, that's okay. Uh,
Yes.
Sometimes we don't push ourselves to think out of the box, but that's
Mm,
where, if you see those people who are growing around you, you will see that they feel they
exactly.
own the company, and then that's what they are moving ahead. When you can say, hey, you know what, I'm working as same as him, it's the same ideas. No, that guy really thinks about it day in and day out, and he comes out with the answers.
Yeah.
So that's what puts him, in a different league.
Mm,
uh, and the same is true in an entrepreneurship. Again, now I do a lot of consulting. People think like owners, and they're stuck there.
yes.
They do the either one or two outlets. They will do everything, their own. They will, oh, it's my baby, so I have to control every single function, which is HR function, legal function, compliance, procurement, bank, financial. They'll be busy. You can't even talk to them. They'll be busy with questions about, hey, that vendor is calling, this guy is calling, this Bestcom guy came. So they handle everything because
I'm hero of everything.
they cannot do. But that's when I say, boss, if you have plans to do 100 outlets, you believe me, you will not do it. You will have to start thinking like a corporate person, thinking of who are the people you're going to
Exactly.
be those people to handle some of this daily functions, so that you can then behave like a entrepreneur, and see how the scale up is. So you will be actually the CEO. Today, you're just the owner of a small shop, and you'll continue to do that.
Mm,
Success is when you go past that, have some, trust some people, give them the daily functions, and then you think. Otherwise, if you think that if you're the one going to handle it, you will go mad, and you'll go insane trying to do the scale up as well as do the daily functions.
mm. Makes a lot sense, and it becomes, I would say, a lot clear that it is not about that what you are just doing there, how you can incorporate, how you can take ownership while doing the jobs. It is more about that taking responsibility, that I am responsible of my work, what I'm doing. It doesn't matter the form of the work, either you are working for a company or you are having your own company. It depends on completely that how you are taking ownership.
No, true, because there are a lot of companies who have awards like think like an owner, or who behave like an owner. They have
Yeah.
awards for that.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. It's not like just doing your uh, job description, excelling at it. How do you think and see what to figure out? Whereas in an entrepreneurship, you're just not about thinking like an owner, which is what you are. Now you're thinking about what are the systems and processes you have to bring about.
Yes.
Not what, you didn't like it, that's what they have to follow. What are the systems? How will they follow it? How do
Yeah.
you treat the people? What
Yeah.
are your HR, what are your, proper documents? All that is
Mm.
necessary.
Yeah.
Otherwise, a lot of these startups just, they just call over the phone and do a type, we don't know what their salaries are. So you have to bring some standardization of
Standard
processes.
process, yeah. But this makes lot sense. So you have mentioned during our discussion about the balance. The each and the success is not about only one side of it. Success is all about having the right balance in our life. So if you can talk more elaborate about the balance, because in today's era, like wherever especially talks to, yeah, any corporates, it is more of a hustle and working, but other sides goes really disbalance. And even if I talk about some of the entrepreneurs, they told that, you know initially few years you need to really sacrifice other things. You can't have all these things. You need to have one side, you need to focus on that, and then you can have later, you have all the times. So how do you say about the balance, and how this balance should be taken? Of course, there are a lot of talks in life, work life balance, a lot of talks around the work life balance in corporate as well. So if you can just share what you mean about balance and how it can have the balance in life.
I look at a little differently. A sure balance is it's what this in spirit what it means, but I don't know if there is a magic like, okay, there has to be a 50 hours 60 hours work and 40-hour balance, because for industry and in what type of entrepreneurship, what type of company you are, all this depends, right?
Yeah.
So you can't go today and say, I mean, you know what, hey, I believe in balanced work. I will only work 60 hours. I mean, it may or may not even work for you with the employer.
Hmm.
So the larger question is, how do you make that work as part of your balance? Meaning, how do you
Wow.
how do you make it that you're still able to work and still able to, so it's becoming very fluid. It's
Hmm.
not like I work, 9 to 6 and then 6 to 10. No, I mean, these days with global dynamics, right?
Yeah.
Within the work, can you take a 2 hours for something and then come back and work? And because you work and you love the work, it doesn't feel like work.
Yeah.
That's a very evolved thinking. I wish a lot of people can reach that. Otherwise,
Hmm.
you're always, it's always my view versus your view. I should work 60 hours, you will work only 50 hours. I mean, this is, and then what happens? So if you're a startup, right?
Yeah.
Um, so in corporates, I work in corporates to some extent it works. So everybody, and I'll tell you examples like we were when we were working when we were um, hiring people for my product innovations. A lot of people came from hotels. And
Hmm.
one of the biggest reasons why they would come to work for us was in hotels, there is no time limit. You're on call, you're on duty. So everybody will say, why I'm coming to work is because I want to have a balanced life. I want to get married. I want to have kids. Believe it or not, this is what it was, right? Um,
Yeah.
so so I will say, hey, you know what? This is not a company which is just like, just come and enjoy. You have to work. You will there will have to be travel. So I used to feel like, my God, they're just coming here to relax. But at the same time, I understood what they were saying. Um, but from there to where if you're joining a startup where every day, if you can't build a strong balanced work in the first 2 3 years of this. I mean, that's what it is. You have to figure out, otherwise it takes longer time for you to be successful, and then who has the money, where will you get your funding? So things are different. So how do you, the sooner you understand that, and of course you have to have a very the culture in the company also has to be that has to be
Hmm.
highly evolved. It cannot be, uh, but it's for each individual to figure out what is that golden, what is that phase, or how do you manage that, where,
Yeah.
hey, you know what, I understand this is work, but I know this has to go, but in this, how will I still manage my life and still be happy and still be absolutely love what I'm doing?
Hmm.
When then work also becomes some kind of your balance perspective. Work is not work is also leisure.
Hmm. Wow. Work is not work. Work is illusion. That is so amazing.
At least you
Yeah.
start thinking. I know it's difficult to achieve, but you
Yeah.
start processing that. So it's not
Hmm.
like it's a black and white.
Yes, true. It's true. That is very much true. Oh, that for me it is really ball one for me. It is work is not work. It is laser offs. Now, when you talk about that balancing between health, relationships, career, even in money, now sometimes feel like people feel so much overwhelming in this kind of situations, even in either working in the corporates or even in startup scenario, in or even if someone is business owner. Now, now, as a corporate employees, it someone might says like entrepreneurs things are like for corporate it is easier because they come and they do work and then they have the time for them. But how they should prioritize or what should be the prioritize if there any sequence? How do you see in terms of the people comes you are doing consulting? What kind of challenges you face? You see the people facing a different age group at the different times. How they are facing this kind of challenges?
Just to get clarity, do you mean to say how uh, are people able to balance the four pillars, or they're
Yeah,
not? Or,
yeah. Because
so I,
at different age groups people's needs are different, people wants are different, and people priorities also become different. So how they not only the cope up but how they balance each areas of life at different phases.
So I think, I mean, certainly after me going through this thing of life coaching, it's a big learning that you have to balance all these four pillars.
Mm.
but some people are aware of it, some people are not aware of it. So it's just like,
Mm,
you don't even know what you don't know.
mm,
That's the
mm.
point, right?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean, you know what you know, you know what you don't know. But if you don't know what you don't know,
Don't
then
know.
that's the difference. So
Okay.
a lot of us, including me, I was in that area of, "Hey, you know what, this is my luck. I have to do it. My job. I have to go to the next level. I
Yeah.
have to work out. I have to 8 hours." But one of the things was somewhere along all the way, I was very conscious about my health for various
Mm,
reasons because of my
mm,
dad who passed away very early, and so I knew I had to. So somewhere that uh, luckily for me, that health was always one priority, always used to give.
mm.
uh, Relationships was, never, it was always like whether it's friends or family or
Yeah.
even I at the time, so that was gone.
Mm.
It was very career, and career and money kind of intertwined, right? So
Yeah.
uh, but then when you reach an age when suddenly when you have all the time, you don't have, these things are long forgotten.
Mm,
So now, uh, in my interaction with people, I do say that, start working on all your four pillars so that you have a well-rounded, holistic life
mm,
experiences.
mm.
Um, so some people are kind of, by nature, they're driven towards it, of course of their upbringing and how they've been exposed to by, and they don't see that as a necessity. They are well tuned for it.
Yeah.
Some people I see are like, 2 out of 4 or 1 out of 4 is missing. uh, but for them it may not even be important because they
Mm,
feel like, they're very career minded and driven.
mm, mm.
These days, maybe with the newer generation, they
Yeah.
seem to be a little bit more balanced in their outlook, and that's why their demands, their asks are slightly different, which people of the other gender don't understand,
Mm,
because they seem to be, because of the information there, they seem to be much more well balanced. They give an importance to a lot. Like I know my, people that I know, younger kids in our families, in our extended family, they spend so much time traveling, spending time with, each other, uh, going to gyms. I mean, for me, that all came, much later when I
mm.
started thinking that is important.
Yeah.
So, and that's why that's reflecting in how they view work as,
Mm.
they don't view work as it is this single,
Yeah.
focused thing. So there are those natural changes, but for people, if they don't know, then
They
they
don't
don't
know.
concentrate, so they don't
Yeah.
worry about it.
Yeah.
Only when somebody tells them, they say, "Oh, you know what? Oh my God, yeah, I should be."
So, what do you suggest to them, those who don't know? As you rightly mentioned, if you know something, what you know is fine. If you don't know, okay, I don't know. But what you don't
So
know is
once
don't know.
once so once they know, then once you bring them, and then if it's part of again if their values, then they will start seeking help, or they will say, "Hey, you
Mm.
know what? I'll start working." But it has to come from within, right? You can't drive some of these things.
We cannot force on them. Just you need to
So
know.
so when you highlight to them, some people learn from it and say, "Hey, you know what? That's a great point. I've never looked at it."
Mm. In fact, that has been in my case, in my journey too. Even when I remember starting as a corporate in 2013, and walking in the young kid, he started walking, not thought about the health. What are you thinking about health as 20s, early 20s? Just works and things. This is the time to make a career. And I remember it was in 2014. I was repeatedly getting sick. 2015, I got a red alarm, and that I went for a checkup, an Ayurvedic checkup. And doctor told me, if you continue to work like this way, if you continue to be like this way, in 6 months you are going to get a bone cancer. And that's where it was a red flag on. No, that time I felt, oh, really serious. The health is very, very important. Young kids, I may not be taking that seriously. And I could see after that a lot of things has changed in terms of giving priority to health. So thank you, sir, so much bringing that point about the health. And yeah, now, when you talk about when this is my observation, sir, I have observed people, especially relationships, especially not only the marriage, but also relationship between the family members or other family members, extended family members, especially in India. Uh, we are not just centric on being has only husband, wife, and then just for two children or maybe children, but also the parents, in-laws, and other relatives. Now, how it is important, plays a very crucial role of in terms of relationships towards career or money, how they should see in terms of balance perspective, and also how relationship plays very crucial role in terms of their career or money.
Sorry, to get clarity, you're saying what is the connection between having a career was
And
having good
relationships,
relationship?
how the relationships plays a crucial role in terms of your career and money, or they are interrelated, or it's like I can have relationships after I become successful in life, how things, because you mentioned about balance, so that's what I really
So,
can.
so one of the cornerstones of life coaching is what relationship you have with yourself,
Wow.
right?
Yeah.
Once you hit that and try to figure that out, and for me, some time back, that was crucial. What type of a relationship I had with myself, and once you figure that out, and once you figure out again, your go back to your value system and see what are all important.
mm,
Um, then you start figuring it out, right? And once you figure that out, automatically things start falling in place.
mm,
So I'm not saying that after this age career and after that money and then relationship and this, no. I think they all have to play an equal role along the way. But the first time and only time you can figure out is what is the relationship, and what do you want to be, how you want to
mm,
see that, and how do you react to things.
mm,
And so everything else falls in place. So I
mm,
don't know if there is if they all have certain designated timelines in your life.
mm.
Uh, if I mean, if you have a excellent relationship,
Mm.
believe me, it it affects your well-being and thinking so much that you're able to
Yeah.
think better with peace.
Yes. Yes.
So all of them has to be balanced, right?
mm.
But if you don't know what you don't know why it's not working out. You can think
Yes.
that the greatest strategist you are, but if it's not working, if you're not happy,
Yeah.
so the part is it's not about devoting certain time. It's all about how comfortable you are, what you are, and along the way, all four are balanced.
Mm.
So uh, if you're looking at a career and if you think, oh, you know what, I go to next 10 years, I'm going to be only worried about career. I don't want to look at relationships. It will not work out because those drop in those areas will affect the way you
Mm.
look at things. You will not
Mm.
be able to have relationship in your workplace also, and that is very important. Unless you're an artist, you're a world's best painter, then okay, you don't need relationship. But in any job, any work, you need relationships.
Mm.
So that becomes, if you don't have a great health and if you keep falling sick, you're not in a frame of mind to think through.
Yeah.
So all these things. So if your physical health being and a mental health being is there, your relationship, you don't even have to work hard. It automatically falls in place. Everybody who wants to talk to you will come and talk to you. You don't have a problem with what they say. And
Mm.
then that builds into it. So when your bosses see how you do it, hey man, this guy is amazing. There was a crisis and he didn't even think,
Think about.
so things fall in place. So you don't have to work towards your career and goal.
Yeah.
Every day people see what you do. Your,
Mm.
the people say you want to have a great relationship. People see how you react. You know what? This guy, there's something about him. I want to be his best friend.
Mm.
Your employees will start looking at you like, oh my God, I can learn so much from him. I will give my life for him.
Mm.
You have those type of connections in a relationship, man, you will go far ahead in your career. So
Very, 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 very
it's
important.
it's not about focus. They all need to be balanced because it affects you.
Mm.
You cannot have 100% in one area and three in it because it starts reflecting. And this is not a theory. This is in practice because I've
Yes,
experienced
agreed.
this. When and for yourself, right? You said you were so focused in your career,
Yeah.
your body was asking for help, and what did you do? Manas refused to give help to Manas.
Yeah. In fact, that time, sir, I was thinking, what I was thinking. I was thinking, you know, health is okay, and my mind is not so focused in the work, and because of that I'm getting distracted. I'm not able to put focus of I'm not putting my energy and focus on the right direction, and that's why I'm getting a lot of noise from my clients and the managers and everything. Let's put more time and effort and energy. And I was putting a lot of pressure on my body and cells. And when I went to doctor, I told, you are doing really great because of your mind. I don't know, really. I was thinking mind was my culprit. But
No, it was
yeah,
still managing everything despite you're not focusing on the other areas. The mind is still trying to do, but at some point the body failed.
yes, that's what felt.
So that's the point, right? So your mind couldn't handle it, and your body couldn't handle it, and so, but if you're concentrated on your health, all the body parameters were doing good. The brain had more oxygen; it could work through, it could help. Suddenly, you're helping your parents, you're helping your friends, and everybody, and then it's a very, very high evolved state of being.
Mm. Yeah, exactly. It happened afterwards. I say, I used to hear this one from my mentor. The experience is best teacher, but fools learns no other way. I repeat, experience is the best teacher, but fools learns no other way. So many a times we get a lot of bitter experiences to learn something what's going wrong.
No, so there is the tough way to learn through experience,
Yeah.
or we also call it like learn like modeling, or you learn from how people have been successful so that you cut short that time.
Learn from the
That's
successful person and what they
that's
have done and just
that's what
model
it is,
that
right?
and
Otherwise, every time if everybody has to go through learn experience, we will be full of mishaps and accidents
exactly.
and all that stuff.
That is the most costliest way to learn, by the way. This is what I have realized. It is a very costliest way to learn, and I wasted myself my 10 years of that just to simply understand how to balance of in terms of my emotions, feelings, beliefs, and translate into the action. Uh, so that is really so profound that you mentioned. Now, if I ask you a little bit more depth about the balance, you mean to say, like when we work on in all areas like health, then I have relationships, of course wanted to build a career and money, there will be always a disbalance. It will be always, and it is never going to be flat that I have achieved the balance, right? So no, in that, like I would say, mind plays a major tricks and I know hiccups, and also like emotions, like it goes in various situation ups and downs. How to check that? Like, what is there any parameter I can understand? I'm doing really balancing, or how things are, like how to understand these things are working well. Like for example, I was thinking I was good. I my health is perfectly fine unless I was collapsing. That's what I was thinking. I'm good. My mind was, I was thinking not good. But till the time I realized what I don't know. And I approached to the right person. He told, Manas, you are not good. You need to take care of it.
No, so any, I mean, whether it's a car or your AC, they all need maintenance, right?
Yes.
So it's the same way. The one thing you ignore the most in your life is your own body,
Mm,
um, and you need to. There are certain checkups you have to do, and there are certain things. There are parameters. If you don't do it, it will get worn out. So
mm,
on the health front, there are these basic metrics is follow, make sure that you're doing certain things. Beyond that, if it's a mental, it's all about how you feel in a day.
mm,
um, are you feeling good,
mm,
or you had a extremely tiring day, but at the end of the day you had like, oh my god, what a day
mm,
it was amazing.
mm,
So even though you had a very tough day at work, but in the end you feel good, that means it was productive. But you can be the other way around also. You just sat at home, or whatever reason, is, or if it was on your vacation,
yeah.
and somehow you didn't enjoy it. uh,
Yes.
so your mind tells you.
Immediately.
It tells you, right? So
Something wrong
what
seems to
what are
be.
the so again, coming back to what is it you value, and what is it you want to do, and are you accomplishing all that stuff
Mm,
uh, without being a you know and if you try to kind of encapsulate a whole day, whether in a day you're where or you're where are you emotionally, whether it's balanced,
Mm.
or
Mm.
you had a great high or a great low. Now, those are all possible. You cannot live in eternal highs,
Yes.
uh, if good and bad, right? And so you will try to do those things that gave you the highs,
Mm.
and hopefully try not to do those things that gave you the lows, right?
Mm.
And it's a constant progress. You cannot achieve things like, you know, just when you think that everything is got something, somebody will bring you some bad news.
Yes.
But the point is, are you in a position to accept the good and the bad? At
Yes,
the
that's
end of
makes
the
sense.
day, at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's
Mm.
not about, oh, how can I keep myself happy? No, you will be greedy if you expect to be happy all the time.
Mm.
It can't be.
Mm.
Unless, of course, you have reached that nirvana of nothingness, and where you are, like, sitting in the Himalayas and you're given up everything.
Mm.
Then whatever comes, you don't. But as long as you're in this state of being, of you have needs and wants, it will keep going up and down. But
Mm.
are you okay to accept both?
Mm.
So, um, I don't know if I was able to answer your question, but I don't know if there is a definitive answer to how do you
Yeah, I got it. I got your answer. The
the
thing.
balance is how you feel.
Yes.
You're okay with it. You should be okay with whatever happens.
Mm. Like even if I feel sometimes low, but how I can come out of that again so faster and quicker to make balance again to come with the highs, and again when there is a high, but also I can expect that there is a low time is also going to come, but I am ready to prepare
Yes,
myself. That
that's
is the
it.
very
So,
important things.
no, when sometimes those are very esoteric and very
Yeah.
nuanced thinking, right?
Mm.
But enjoy your highs,
Yeah.
celebrate whatever.
Yeah.
When it comes to the low point,
Low.
some bad news, it's okay. Feel bad about it. It's okay. And then, hey, you know what? This is okay. I'll come back.
That's life.
That's life.
That is
Uh,
very, very important.
don't ever wish for, you know what, I will not let this go down to something. I will not feel, I will always feel good.
Mm.
Not possible.
It never happened. It never happened. It is the ideal. Ideology is always remain in the ideal only.
Correct.
So it's only can happen in imaginations, and but it has never happen in reality.
No, there are so many forces around you, family, friends, and and it's all about, there is only, the energy is always balanced, right? So
Yes,
somebody
true.
has to feel good, somebody has to feel bad.
Yes, that is always
if
there.
if everybody is feeling good, then where is all
Demons.
the yeah.
That is so valuable. So thankful. Yeah. Life is always about the balancing. It will be always different situation will be there, and how the successful people navigates through that path.
Yeah, I think we sometimes try to be too caught up in this balancing.
Mm.
We talk about balanced perspective, balanced life, balanced work life balance. I
Yeah.
had a balance. Try to figure out the whole thing. Why only balanced? Just live, deal with the good and the bad, and try to enjoy whatever you do, whether it's
Mm.
work or leisure. Then it
Mm.
becomes different. Otherwise,
Mm.
no, no. This is work. I will be bad. I will be sad. This is the work. Leisure. I will enjoy. Can do both.
Mm. Just one question is coming to my mind, sir, in this point of time when you're talking about balance and things are there. I would say the emotion is plays sometimes very crucial role. Like sometimes I was feeling good, sometimes not. It is like then how this emotional control or emotional resilience or emotional intelligence these things comes. Like these words are being used so many times especially in the corporates. How does it plays a role in terms of in humans life in day to day life, or how they should feel about that? I would say how they should see in that.
No, it's okay to, very well okay to feel bad
Hmm.
also.
Hmm.
Nobody said you should not feel bad, but
Hmm.
let not both the good or the bad be extreme ends of it.
Hmm.
For example, in a crisis, I mean, and sometimes it comes through. Sometimes somebody, you're kind of trained very well since your childhood, and sometimes you're very good at it. Sometimes you get trained at it. I mean, like, if there is a crisis, say we have gone through we go through fire drills for our hotels and restaurants. In case of a fire,
Mm,
what do you do? Well, if you
mm,
panic and run, then you're not done the job. So
yeah.
when you are able to think through and guide people out, follow the fire evacuation,
Yes.
and those things that happens, right? And when there is
Mm.
a crisis, when there is a fire, immediately your body is not going to,
Yes. Adrenaline rushes.
just 2 seconds. My God. Then, hey, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fight
So
or flight mode's on.
and so that's the point of all. And those things sometimes you're perfectly, there are some friends of mine who nothing can bother them, right? They are okay
Mm,
with it. If the
mm,
flight is delayed, hey, it's okay, I'll take the next flight. There's no problem. But
mm,
there are some people, and I was like that. I would start panicking. My God, I missed a flight. I will be late. I will be late, right?
mm,
uh,
mm,
but that is through training. You can overcome all those. You
mm,
train yourself, train your thing.
mm,
You have a system in place. Okay, if it's something is happening, what is the protocol? And
mm,
then you train yourself to overcome, so that with your professional life, you
mm.
should not be as a leader. You should not be the ones going running around. So
Mm,
they all look at you for help. And right now, there is like this airline crisis.
mm.
Uh, I'm sure in that company, the amount of chaos that company is going to probably going through, they are reading about
Yes.
themselves in the newspapers. So now is now is the time how well that leadership is, what
Yeah.
they do, how do they take care of whether the customers, internal customers, employees. So this is a crisis they never imagined.
Difficult times only it is tested
So
the
how well,
quality.
and people will remember this, how well you acted and how what you did.
Mm.
So it's all about you know trying to be grounded and headlong. I mean, there are many times when you'll go through, somebody like, if you have, I mean, a perfect example be one of your kids gets injured, all your professional behavior goes out the window, right? When your kid gets injured and you take them to the hospital. I can't hear you. You're muted yourself. Um,
Yes. Yes, sir.
so um, that's when you could be the best leader in your office, but when it comes to your kid and something happens, you become that parent and you lose your you know cool, and you start shouting and this. So eh, it's all about thinking and thinking in a calm manner. Yeah, it's difficult.
Yeah, that's why it is balancing is not that one night or one day phenomenon. It is always happening on and off. So we need to balance continuously. But yeah, it is very much important. So it is okay to feel bad, and but it is good that how I can come out with that better out of the situation. Yeah, that's really so much valuable, so much insight. Sure. One couple of last questions to you. Like you have doing the consulting about your shiny things, how the from the person is corporate and the life coaching. Now, I have a questions to you. Like those who are starting in the corporates and want to start something new, or even to have this kind of balance, holistic balance, life they want to live. So, what are the things they should start with? If we can just summarize how they can start with them their journey.
No, summarize the journey for what? To start a
So
corporate
living
life?
a basically more holistic life for themselves so that they can have the most fulfilled and holistic life for themselves. Like if those are already feeling the chaos in their life, how they can have the most holistic life for themselves, how they should start. If you can give me the 3 steps or 5 steps.
Um, so I don't know if to have a holistic life, I don't know. It doesn't matter whether you're in entrepreneurship or in a corporate life, right? Doesn't matter. Or you're
Mm.
just a
Yeah.
single contributor. I mean, it's all about how you see this and what you want to do. Um yes, for anybody, whether whatever career you're choosing, whether even you're a student,
Mm.
whether you're a youngster, it's very important. I mean, when you're young, health is not that big of a deal. You're young and active
Yeah.
and all that, but it's very important to when you're a kid also, to be good in academics, learning, and relationships is very important. because that kind of probably dictates a lot of things in their future life. Then,
mm,
as you go into your corporate life and you start getting into your 20s, your health starts getting important because that'll keep you, ready for the long haul. Mentally, yes, that relationship is important for you, whether it's work related, whether it's with your parents. Then you'll start, with your colleagues, with your bosses, how well you do it, how excellent is your networking, because there you're spending a lot of time on networks. That's
mm,
far important.
mm,
Some things that somehow I kind of missed that part of. I was just more focused on my work. I wish I'd done a lot more networking with my peers and other companies, uh, to learn also. So that is something they can do. But as they grow up, yes, then all four areas start becoming, because now they're career driven, but now they have started making money because their bills have started increasing.
mm.
Uh, get married, kids,
Yeah.
house, car. So yes, they have to be devoted to that. But
Mm,
along the way, the health is always necessary,
mm.
because they're setting ready for the next. See, everybody's hopeful. I mean, pretty much you're going to be alive for till about 75, 80, right?
Yeah.
So, and if you don't take care of your health, when you're younger, you will have a lot of. You might still live, but what is the quality of the life? And you don't want to be a dependent at any part of your life.
Yes,
Uh,
true.
so some of those, so the health, from 20 onwards is very important. Have some, you know, uh, whether it's a form of a diet or a routine. Relationship starts from very young, very important, because some of those friendships will always come back to help you. Uh, whether it's your bosses, if you are, how good is your relationship with all your ex bosses?
Mm,
Those are very important. Network, you never know who, where can help you.
mm.
It's no jobs cannot jobs don't come through LinkedIn necessarily,
Yes, exactly.
or Facebook. So it's all. I mean, for me, if I look back now, most of it is to come through some connection somewhere,
Yeah.
right? Um, this podcast also, right? With somebody
Yes.
like you,
Yeah,
that
it always happen like that.
so connections, be open to connections, but don't have a connection for the sake of a, a, a personal gain. And that's one
Yeah.
thing I want to, sometimes people look at you as of you're a person who can be their customer. you know Never start like that. A lot
Mm,
of people do. They
mm,
only look at you as their client.
mm.
Okay, they might be very nice and say, no, no, you become my complimentary client, but then you're still looking at you as a client, not as a friend, not as
Yes.
for what you are.
Mm,
So those things can, and so once you've developed this, automatically it comes,
mm,
and so you're able to benefit, the all the factors. You
mm,
take the benefit out of it.
mm,
Uh, so um, I think it's important across all spectrums, and keep yourself, I mean, of course, and then you yourself, how good you are to yourself.
mm.
You know, something that, again, some of the things that I missed was, I always thought, what is it? I can always devote my time for myself later,
Yeah.
but it's always the journey, right? Along the way.
Yes.
Did you
Yes.
stop and do something? Did you just stop somewhere in the middle of it, and just, without any worrying about time, did you just sit there and have a cup of coffee along the way, rather than just going to the destination?
Yeah.
Uh, and that can be a small little, example of many things in life.
Mm,
So I think it is very important across all those spectrums to have a, devote time to it,
mm,
uh, so that, come what may, you're able to experience and enjoy life,
mm.
rather than live in regrets.
Yes, very true. Very true. That is very, very important. That what are the things we are doing, we must enjoy and love it for things we are doing rather than, oh, these things I could have done. This would have done better rather than what we can do it. Being living at the present, I would say,
Yeah.
being at the present is makes more. And the problem or the people feel difficulties and stuck because either they live in the past or they're living in the future. What would be
Mhm.
the future and why I could have done that better earlier. So rather being in the present makes a lot of yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Makes a lot of sense. And so nowadays you are doing a lot of consulting. So what are the things you are doing in terms of helping a person through? So if you can tell something more, and if someone is really wanted to connect with you in terms of their journey, how they should be able to move ahead.
So I mean, in the area of food and beverage consulting, I help brands to grow. So if they already have one or two outlets, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and they've already out there, uh, and most founders have large, expansion thoughts. They want to be 50, 100, 200
Mm-hmm.
outlets. But the phase of what they call a 0 to 1 is different from the 1 to 1 plus, right?
Yes.
So that's where I have all my experience has been, having worked in either in hotels or in the cafe chain, where we had 1,700 outlets. How do you duplicate those processes? So that's the point that I bring that expertise. So how do you first stabilize your operations,
Mm-hmm.
get it ready for the next level, where it can run, uh, where the your what the numbers you want to achieve is not a flow, can be achieved.
Mm-hmm.
um, your SOPs, the standard operating procedures are good. Your
Mm-hmm.
quality uh, assurance policy structure is good. Your consistency. Once you set up that base, then the duplication gets far better, rather than
Mm-hmm.
having multiple openers just because you're successful in one, and then trying to balance it out, trying to see why in one place the product is not the same as in the other place. uh, but those should be done before, and that's where I help them to streamline the operations, product SOPs.
Mm-hmm.
How do you make that simpler and easier? Because see, at the we we are not possibly working with very highly qualified people in all these places, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we have to make this
Yeah.
processes simpler. I
Simple.
mean, because your uh, process, I mean, your P&L can only afford for certain type of payroll. And
Mm.
then the payroll, you have to fit those people. I mean, of course, you can hire whoever you want, but if you pay them high salaries, you will not,
Yeah,
make
we
any.
lose a lot of enter on the table.
So within the parameters, how do you achieve success? And you have to be able to get the most out of your manpower without, of course, breaking their backs.
Mm.
So what is the right usage of equipment, some
Mm.
advanced equipment process,
Mm.
uh, and of course the location is, as I say, in basic marketing, you'll say location, location, location. So what are those places?
Mm.
Where should you have it? How do you go about it? What are the things you look for?
Mm.
And then how do you scale it up?
Mm.
Because today, at any point, I mean, all everybody wants to scale up, right?
Yes,
Nobody is running to trying to. Yeah, everybody wants to, but not everybody is able
is
to.
doing, not
So,
everyone is able to.
and the start is, how do you come out of your entrepreneurial, the founder
Yeah.
mindset to more of a corporate level, process driven
Mm.
mindset?
Mm. Wow. So you help them grow from one to two rather than zero to one. So how we can make the operation is much more smoother
See,
and
zero
experience.
to one is very difficult, right? Because anybody will not know. So many people have different ideas, but once they have something, then we can start chiseling that.
Scale, matlab
Yeah,
growing and then scaling.
because today any idea can work. I mean, they don't need me to figure out what idea will work or not work.
Mm.
Anybody, they just think they have an idea, they'll open.
Mm.
Then if that succeeds, that's when they need partners to come and say, or people who've been there, so that
Yeah.
you don't do this. So what I excel in is, I excel in what things you should not do, not
Yeah.
what things you should do, what
Mm.
things you should not do, because I have learned that myself through the hard
Yeah.
way.
Yeah.
What are some of the things I should not do? And
Mm.
if you're running on your own, you always tend to do so many different things, hit and error, trial and error. So if you are on your own, it might take you 5 7 years to reach 4 5 outlets. I'll say I can do it in 1 year.
Mm. Makes sense. Yeah. So it is very difficult all to understand what's not to do. Then what are the things to do? There are so many things, but
You
when you
can do
start
whatever
with
you want, but somebody has to be able to tell you what not to do.
what exactly you should not do it, so
Yeah,
that you don't do that mistakes what we have already done it.
correct.
So that's where the very very important, yeah, that's where the experience the persons comes into the place. So that's really amazing. Yeah. So you are working in the top brands to really grow their brands in the next level, so growth to scale, I would say, then just not a start. So that is
Correct.
really wonderful. Yeah.
True.
Another thing, just wanted to know, sir, if they wanted to start, some of them is like, if someone have a passion, as you mentioned that you love food, you initially you mentioned, some of our friends, I'm not a very big foodie, but yeah, I love different choices. I do it, but some of my friends are also very much foodie and they love about the food. Then I was discussing someday, what is your passion by which you can make it a profession, as I mentioned earlier also. So is that a trigger point where they can also start kind of business in terms of food and a beverage business, the food business into that, or like how is there any connection in that, how things can fold there? But of course, as you mentioned, 0 to 1 is difficult. At the same times, maybe they can start things, after that is become much harder. So what is your experience in this, or how they can go ahead about it?
So any business you want to start, right, you need to have some kind of expertise in it.
Hmm.
So the only problem, I mean, for me, having been in this industry for so long, that's my education, all right. I feel like uh, everybody, just because they eat 3 times a day, they are all experts.
That is true.
My
Not.
my personal opinion, right?
Yeah, yeah, not.
Uh,
Yeah, absolutely
so
not.
so running a food business is extremely difficult.
Mm.
Uh, Not because I am in that.
Mm.
Problem is because everybody has to do it, right? Everybody has to eat, and so you cannot satisfy all the people all the time.
Mm.
And there are various tastes,
Mm.
profiles,
Mm.
types, genres of cuisines.
Mm.
And this is one of the few things where every day it'll start from zero.
Mm.
Uh, Unlike if it's IT or whatever, or if you have
Yeah.
a product, if you have an FMCG product, the product is there, it gets multiplied and you sell. But
Mm.
every day it's from zero. Like,
Yeah.
okay, yesterday was a great day. I did 1 lakh of sales. Doesn't necessarily mean today will be great. And my somebody will not top work. There'll be no water. I'll have to shut down. My chef will not come. Some products will not come. So again, today will be very different. Some 10 customers will say it was a bad day, even if I had everything in place.
Makes sense.
So that's why a lot of people incorrectly think it's easy business.
Mm.
Hey, I have to eat, and you know what? I have these recipes. I have my grandmother's recipes. I have It's very good. It's authentic, and I want to do it. Well, we all love them. Uh, the first part, okay, they will do a lot of things with their passion. They will work hard. They will go with them, hire some people, and they will be sitting there in the cash counter counting money and all that. The problem is the next. Passion alone is not enough.
Mm.
Passion alone is never enough. It's a ingredient to start.
Yes.
Then you need process.
Mm.
And how do you build the process? So
That's how the game is.
that's where you need some help externally, the people
Mm.
who have been there.
Mm.
uh, if you've not been there, then how do you? So if you are an engineer, you have done all the studies getting to that, right? So you can
Yeah.
adapt it, or you've worked in your jobs, you've gained experience.
Yeah.
But if you're an IT or something, suddenly you say, I want to do, there is no harm there. Nobody, I'm not saying nobody should. Opening the first one, okay, they will talk to somebody, there's that, they'll get the recipes and all that. Then they have to bring some amount of corporate structure to that
Yeah.
if they want to grow.
Mm.
For some people, it's just a passion. Hey, I'll just have one restaurant. I'll whatever little money that is just a side gig for me to go in the weekends and look after. That's fine.
Mm.
But food and beverage, the stuff is the mortality rate is very high. You know, they
Mm.
say more than 70% fail.
That is a huge rate of well, failure rate.
Of course, because you only see, if you go in your own neighborhood, you just go around and see how many restaurants have been there.
That's true. Many of them open, few days are there, few days again, then it's gone back. I
There
know
are
it.
some there are some who have been there, but they have done the right things.
Mm.
Uh, but the other thing is, in India, there is no Indian restaurants which are present all over India. There are
Ah,
only foreign
that is a
companies,
great.
whether it's KFC,
Mm.
McDonald's, Pizza
Mm.
Hut.
Yeah.
Very, very few. Now, okay, there are some cafes and all coming up. And what is difference? Not because they had the best food. It's
Mm.
just they had their best process.
Mm.
And they are
So
able to
that's where sometimes it was also wondering me, stacking pizza from here and then other restaurants, taste are both the same. How? Hands are different, things are different. How come it
yeah,
is same? Because of the process.
process.
Because
Process.
of the
Yeah.
process.
Yes.
Makes
Because
sense.
you might sit in your house and create the best pizza. Fine. It
Mm.
might be better than Pizza Hut.
Mm.
But can you replicate that across 1,500 outlets?
Mm.
Day
That's where
in
the
and day out.
main challenge comes.
You see, any good, any, what is your favorite food that you like?
I like, let's say, paneer, sabjis, especially paneer, varieties of
So,
paneer.
what is your favorite North Indian restaurant?
I don't know. I generally I don't prefer to go to the North Indian or any restaurants
Okay.
outside.
What food do you eat outside, or what do you order? What food do
If
you like?
I ordered generally like Jain thali, sometimes Jain paneer with the paneer and then roti and rice sabjis
So who
normal.
is your favorite restaurant?
Yeah, I never gone to the restaurants. I only ordered sometimes in the from the Zomato.
Okay, so in Zomato, which restaurant you order?
If there was a Laddu Gopal one was here, and Shamur was a couple of restaurants are here. Yeah.
Why are they not there in many places?
That's what that my question was coming. No, why it is so? Although if they are good, but another thing I was thinking, the taste is like today I am getting taste. Forget about you asked this question is one thing I was remembering. I ordered at least in last 1.5 year, maybe 3 4 times. Out of 4 times, 2 times, 3 times, I got different things from the same restaurant itself. Same
Because
item.
because very simple. In India, people who work as the so-called chefs, they they don't believe in writing down any SOPs. It's all in their head.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's just like in your home, right? In your home. Are there any written down recipes at your home with
No,
your wife or your mother, anybody? It's all right. So one guy, if that guy doesn't come,
I got it.
somebody else will um, uh, "Eh, itna dalo. What is that? How much is that?
भगवान जाने.
Have you seen any measuring cups, spoons
Ah,
anywhere?
no, no.
So that is one. There is no written down SOP. It's all matters how much exactly you put and what time you put. All
Hmm.
right. The other thing is, yes, there is some amount of certain level of ingredients also, like the exact masalas sometimes
Exact
are different.
quantity and quality.
Quality of the ingredients also differ. So, uh, first of all, whereas if you go to any of these, multinational, they'll all have it written down. There'll be SOPs, and where they don't have to think. They just press this button, then this button, and this button.
Hmm.
Our cooking is a lot of complex cooking on the fire,
Hmm.
and it takes a long time for the gravies to cook.
Hmm.
If you don't put enough or you put too much,
Hmm.
at what rate? Suppose you forgot to put something. There are so
Hmm.
many. There's not one or two spices, right? It has
Hmm. Yeah,
multiple of
India has a
spices.
varieties of spices. India is especially famous for its spices
So,
food.
and nobody remembers. they'll just say it's in my head.
Yeah.
Suppose a guy in the head doesn't come one day, what do you do? So the other guy will say, I think he put this much, I'll put this.
Yeah.
Or the guy quits.
Hmm.
That's simple.
Hmm. So, sir, if I suggest, these questions came from my wife. Let me be very honest. I was telling her that today we have a podcast and we wanted to talk about a person he has experience with the food and beverage industry for a decade. And my wife has very keen interest in cooking. She loves cooking and different new items for the festival and different items. And also she has a thoughts that we'll start a restaurant after many years. So then I will ask the question on behalf of you. So what should be the thing she should start from home right now if she wants to do that? Is that you mean to say the first we should write it down the recipes, what we are doing it? So start
Yes.
with, start
Yeah.
with.
Simple.
Okay. Looks very simple, but it has a great impact eventually.
No. So only then you can train somebody, right?
Yes. Follow just the exact system, what I am just doing. Repeat it, replicate it.
Because why? So only then a technology can even come into your side, right? If you don't have it
Mm.
written down,
Mm.
how will technology even come inside your kitchen,
Mm.
right? If you
Mm.
don't have it written down, how will you do the costing? How will
Mm.
you do the pricing of it? How will you
Mm.
be able to standardize it? How will you be able to replicate it? How will you be able to say, okay, hey, you know what? This is the thing. So if I've done 10 of this, I should have used up 1.5 kilos of rice. Hey, my 2 kilos rice is gone.
Mm.
Everything starts from there, right?
Mm.
So,
Measuring each and every items, what are the things you're doing, and then you're putting into the process of and
so
system.
she can, one of those things she likes, she can start, when she makes it, write it down, and then next time follow her own recipe to make sure it comes out well. So
Mm.
then it's locked. So write down all the recipes. And
Mm.
whenever she's ready, then see the problem with all these. You said something about she makes all these for festivals, right? You can't run a restaurant with menus from a festival because that's one day.
No, I'm not talking. She loves doing that. That can be
True.
replicated on a everyday basis in terms of
So,
investment.
so, so the other thing is, what is the cuisine that will work?
Mm.
Whether it's now it's Jain food.
Yeah.
Now, in Jain food, she has to figure out what is that differentiates her food from others, or
Mm.
is there even others? Now, I don't
Mm.
know which town you're in.
I'm in Gurgaon.
Gurgaon. So, I mean, the first place to start will be in Gurgaon.
Mm.
Uh, if you look around and see if there is how many Jain players are there? Are they
Mm.
there or they're not there?
Mm.
If they are there, how are they doing? If they're not there, then it's clear. Then,
Mm.
it's easy to, maybe you'll be the first one.
Yeah.
And then what are the type of food, and what is the niche? What is that where she can, whether it is breakfast, lunch, dinner, so you go on. It never be like for all, then nobody will come.
Mm.
If I start with, suppose you have, see, breakfast is very tough in India because everybody eats breakfast at home.
Mm.
So you can say, maybe you want to, I'm assuming she wants to start from home,
Mm.
or she wants to open a restaurant.
Start from home.
Start from home, you know, one food for thought literally will be like, you know what, I can start making some Jain thalis for 200
Mm.
bucks,
Mm.
150 rupees,
Mm.
and get a subscription.
Mm.
you know See, these are all may not really work, but at least it's a good start to get an
Good to start
awareness,
with. Yeah.
get so you know what she
प्रोडक्ट मार्केट फिट तो बन ही जाएगा.
so no, she will get to know the, how it is. Cooking for 4 people is different from everyday cooking for 20 people.
Agreed.
And then do you have the thing, what is your house set up in place? How she will be, your house will become, start looking, you have to, it'll be everywhere, you will see bags of rice, and so you have to, there are multiple things. So the other thing is, either start with Ladakh, if you can cook some 10-15 meals and get a feedback.
Mm.
Hey, Monday through Friday you're working and you have a tough time trying to find, I will give you homemade Jain thalis
Mm.
as an example.
Yeah, yeah.
Or she's good in some desserts.
Mm.
Then for the evening, that gets a little more where if she's got any frictions, then open up a a small restaurant,
Mm.
and start that way. So yeah, there are so many ways, but to test it, start with like with our friends. If she has a bunch of friends, hey, you know what? You want me to start supplying for some parties? Start with
Mm.
that.
Mm.
Like if there is a get-togethers, hey, you having some people are coming over, I can supply. You don't have to cook.
Oh
I'll bring
dear.
the food for you.
Yeah. No, in fact, that same thing when I could remember exactly the point you told when I was in Bangalore and 7 8 years ago, and I was looking for sometimes like alternate food. I used to cook that time. I was alone, single, and I was cooking myself. And then someday I got a person who was giving kind of Jain kind of food and it's near my office's area. I told, wow, that's a luxury for me. Someone can get it. Thus being there, and they are doing the same thing, doing from the home, only they are making 20 to 30 thalis, and husband was coming to the office and used to wife used to take the order in the morning, has to give the order by 11, and then by
Correct.
1 o'clock the husband used to come to the office and he used to just drop it, and then he used to go to office. And it started with that. I do not know how they have done afterwards, but yeah, that is a nice way to start.
Uh, Maybe they all went through some disruption of COVID,
Yeah.
but today when companies are been calling people to come to work, 2 and 3 days a week, yeah, a lot of IT companies are spreading. I mean, they are sparing no expense to make sure their cafeterias are great and making people come back to work.
Mm.
But still, Jane is very difficult, right? Few most places will not have Jane meals,
Yeah.
so that becomes a niche. Now, also the point is it doesn't have a
Need.
great. It's a very niche
Yeah.
category. There is always a need, but it will not be a big
Yeah. Need
market.
is also less.
But you can start with that, and then once she starts getting comfortable, maybe she can go to other cuisines
Yeah.
and then open a restaurant.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. So thank you so much, sir, actually for bringing your lot of experience and giving. And at least the last section will be definitely will be giving a lot of housewives to start something on and can support their husbands and get a lot of side money, side hustle can start from home. Yeah.
Sure.
So that is a one way to start, and of course, this you are always there to take it in the next level to the a different. You can put your restaurant into the different parts of in Indian map and ready, so it is
Yeah.
there so that you can take it to the next level. So thank you so much, sir, for your gracious time and really share the wisdoms with all of us, and that's really makes a lot of value to each one of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you for giving me the opportunity, Manas. Thank you so much. And I hope these podcasts go viral and
Mm.
they people find value in them and yeah, and it keeps growing. So, um, wishing you all the best.
Thank you so much, sir. Really looking forward. Thank you.